minutes a day on the internet. You're literally on the internet. And you would be right. I want to put again, we prioritize messaging based on what is most relevant to you. Good to go. I want to make sure while we play the opening song, every show that I post, we have an opening song. Okay. It is Edwin Starr's War. And instead of making you listen to it, I just put a link to it. You can you can, you know, because some people want to listen to me. They don't want to listen to the song, right? But I want to make sure um, that I interject music as a means of controlling like the tempo and the flow of a show. It feels almost like a radio show, except there's a live chat. So that's one of the benefits, okay? One of the benefits of Justice's Waiting Room is that I'm actually reading the comments. Hey, AC, good morning, JoJo, Cassie. See? Okay. Saying, hey, everybody. Morning. Okay. And first thing I want to jump out and say this morning is, hey, great job on February 5th. Nationwide protest, all 50 states and all over the world. They're protesting. I just want you to know Earth is Antifa. I just want you to know that. Like on Earth, if you wondered if it's you versus a bunch of fucking stormtroopers or if it's you and a massive resistance, I just want to make sure you understand it's you and a massive resistance. You are not outnumbered. I know that it feels like it sometimes. Okay? So I want to start my show today by saying, "Hey, great job, everybody! The first protest went off en masse in the United States. Zero cas. Okay. First, when you're right, when you are correct in your protest, you tend to do it with a sort of like, we're justified here. Okay. Make sure you like this, you share this, that you are subscribed to my channel. I don't like saying stuff like that. I like to just focus on the show, right? I don't want to tell you like this, share this. If you're tired of not being able to click on the links and you're in the TikTok chat, go up to my profile, go to my YouTube channel, go to the YouTube version of the show. We are co-streaming live. I have co-streamed every episode of Justice's Waiting Room has been streamed live on two different channels. One, either TikTok or Clapper or Fanbase, depending on who's available, and then on YouTube. And every show but one's been on YouTube. Okay. So know that you can absolutely stay here on TikTok. A lot of the times when I post links to the TikTok comments, they don't even show up. So if you think it might be important for you to click on the links that I post when we have our discussions, and maybe you're not tech savvy, maybe technology's not your friend, I would send you to the YouTube version of the show where when I post links, not only do they show up every time, but you can actually click on them. And I'm only offering that to you as I care about my audience. I care about your feedback, what you have to say about my show. A lot of the comments that I get here on TikTok are about my volume. And understand, I'm just yelling into my phone. Like, you get what you get. Blame Apple. Or, see this fancy headset that I make a lot of money wearing? That shit's connect. I use it for work. Like, I have two of them. Okay? That's how good this headset is. It's a Dell. Okay? I'm a 1,000% an advocate. You know how I know it's in a good headset? Super good volume control and EQ, and it's like a simple device. Like it is not. Okay? I don't even know you. Okay? So, so go to YouTube if you're like, oh, that makes sense. I might want to click on some shit. So we're gonna be because I'm shaky lately. Good to go. I listen to music to keep me steady. Okay. So here's the track two. Okay, which came up right after uh war. Okay. And so I want to come off saying, hey, great job, everybody, in your protest. Great job. Okay. Colts, Purdue, Pacers, you better fucking believe it. Right. So here, there is another scheduled protest, and this one has you have a lot more run up to. You have a lot more warning. Jens, it would be IU, but I wanted a job when I graduated college. And also, I was raised an Indiana University fan. I was raised a Hoosier fan. And you fired Bobby Knight and cut the soul out of Indiana University, and you never got it back. And Indiana sports is forever cursed to mediocrity. And last year's Indiana football team is the height of that program, and it will only be middling or worse forward. Got to win every game. And so, want to make sure in order for Indiana University to rise to prominence, you can't be firing or Mike Woodson stepping down in year 5. I'm just continuing to talk shit because Purdue University basketball, but boys and girls, is a better program. Like, we could talk a lot of shit, but you're just gonna lose that argument. Yeah, there's a it was solid. It was solid when I was in high school, 25 years ago. It's no longer solid. Purdue is a dominant athletic program when you compare them now. Yeah, he had one good season of football. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, I'm praying for your success. Basketball is what Indiana needs to be good at in order for this to be a rivalry again. You can't just have a good soccer team in Bloomington and think that you have a good athletic program. You have to compete in track, cross country, like you have to be good at all the sports. I was giving IU fans shit coming here. So it should be IU, and it's like I was an IU fan. Okay, here's this protest. Okay, and I'm a hell of a Colts fan. Good to go. Keep in mind, there's this factor that a lot of people don't understand about sports, and that is called like average rate of improvement. And so football teams at like the NFL level, their max rate of improvement is plus or minus 4 year to year. So if you wonder what potential looks like and how I, as someone who wants to be an NFL coach, would talk about someone like the Indianapolis Colts and what does their future look like? Well, capitulating on their potential, right? Capping out on their potential next year could be a 13 win season. I think they were 9-8 and didn't make the playoffs, or were they 8-9? So plus 4 is 12 wins, and that's playoff material. So Colts are definitely in a great spot. Go Eagles, absolutely. We are all Eagles fans today. hmm I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I'm watching people climb telephone poles and street lights. I'm watching couches burn. And I want to put it out there, okay? Man, I'm not watching. Not watching. I have no interest in watching the Super Bowl. Um, there's another protest on the 17th. So hey, it's the 9th right now, okay? A week from tomorrow, okay? Noon your time at your state house, state capitol, etc. Good to go. How do we get there? How do we get there? Okay. You go to R5051, which now has a website. And I don't work for these people. Good to go. Ain't nobody giving me money, asking me to do shit. Go to that subreddit, R5051, and if you click on that and you go down on the right hand side is a button you can push for your state. Why boycott? Let's talk about it. Why are we boycotting the Super Bowl today? Well, the first reason is that Elon Musk has spent $40 million on 5 commercials for the Super Bowl today, talking about government inefficiency. 50, 50, 1. 50, 50, 1. That's the subreddit for protests. They also have a website. From what I understand, it's 50 spelled out FIFTY, 50 spelled out FIFTY. Did he use our money or his? That's the question, Denny. Great. What is wrong with that? I see you're having a real hard time understanding why we're upset that Elon Musk spent $40 million on 5 commercials to talk about waste and government efficiency. Okay. Add to that Donald Trump's going to be there and the NFL decided to take end racism out of the end zones because Donald Trump didn't want to see it. So once you realize that they're also they both committed treason and they're traitors and they spent a bunch of money and Donald Trump spent like $25 million to have a big presence at this Super Bowl. And I think that I don't want to watch that. Oh my, you know what? I'm gonna make a lot of people's lives a lot easier. I'm gonna make a lot of people here. No, 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 no. What we're not gonna do, one of the things that we don't do here, one of the things that we don't do here, we don't entertain fools. Good to go. Yeah, I would be great if Kendrick Lamar doesn't show up, that would be awesome. Or if his show's outside the stadium instead. And somebody said, "Hey Jared, I wonder if something will happen there today." I am deeply concerned. I think that the terror attack a couple months ago that Russia and Elon and Donald planned, um, good for you, Jojo. I'm not upset at that as long as you're absolutely rooting for Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. I just posted a 16-minute video to YouTube and TikTok that I think everyone needs to watch. And I need you to like that and share that and comment on that and have deep discussions about the 16-minute video that I just put on Twitter and TikTok. Not Twitter, YouTube and TikTok. Okay? Yeah. Well, know that there are a bunch of law enforcement and active duty literally with rifles walking around New Orleans on Bourbon Street. Okay? So I don't think anything will happen. If it will, it'll have to be a large boom boom. That won't happen. Not at the Super Bowl. It's America's sport. If it does, though, you want to talk about how fast we're going to revolutionize? You want to radicalize a whole bunch of people? How about America's fucking sport, right? On this of holiest of Sundays, Super Bowl Sunday. Okay, it's the first one I won't be watching. It's the first time I can ever remember watching, thinking about a football game, and I expect there to be exactly what the H-man did in Germany. Fuck the Super Bowl. Yeah. So, like I said, I want to make sure I tell everybody I made a 16-minute video, put it on YouTube and TikTok that I think everybody needs to watch. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes. Okay? A lot of people have been asking me, what kind of socialist are you? And I have an answer, and I can define it. And I know you're like, what? So I actually have done my research. I've read all of the books. There's a million splinters of socialism. I think that the problem that I have with socialism is that if you do not do certain things, it just results in violence. Do you understand what I'm saying? The problem that I have with a lot of the facets of socialism is that once they don't get their way, they resort to violence and slide all the way to the right and become communists. Okay? So that's the problem, is that people are fucking quitters. Okay? They're too ooh, 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 great song. Sorry, I have fucking ADHD. Sometimes I have to, as I tell you about what kind of socialist I am, we have to have theme music. For those of you that are like, I'll just put it on in the background, what's the name of the song? Tool's song called Numa. And I'm mostly speaking to the fucking heavy guitar riff while I'm playing. Anyway, so I did my research, and I think in order for you to have a good enough understanding of socialism as a concept, you have to be made aware of the concept of egalitarianism. It fucking sucks to say it. I made up a new word today that'll help you understand what the core concept of socialism is. Egalitarianism. There, it sounded a little better. How about equalityism or equalism? Okay, as a much easier way to fucking comprehend socialism. Socialism is an egalitarian social and economic that you stopped listening because you don't know what fucking an egalitarian is. An egalitarian, I'll be an egalitarian for you, is someone that is hyper like defensive of equality as a concept. And so those people that would consider themselves like violently pro LGBTQIA plus, right? Like you don't need to be violent. You don't need to be violent. You live in a violent state. You do not need help. You do not need help in that aspect. Violence is not the answer. Okay? So, I am a syndicalist socialist. And I know you're like, "Wait a minute. I am a hyper egalitarian syndicalist socialist." So, you know what an egalitarian is. An egalitarian is somebody that believes in equality for everyone. Things like codifying Roe v. Wade, codifying rights for our LGBTQIA plus friends, right? Rights for everybody, right? That's what a socialist is. Okay, that sounds awesome. I'm a socialist, right? Now, you have to decide. You have to decide what kind of socialist are you? No, no. What rights do they not have? First, you have to define they, and then you have to figure out what are you talking about, because that's not the argument. We're talking about defining what kind of socialist we are. See, you're caught on the wrong emphasis, on the wrong syllable. You should be focused on what is syndicalism, Jared. I need to know what is a syndicalist? Well, a syndicalist is a revolutionary current within the labor movement that, through industrial unionism, seeks to unionize workers according to industry and advance their demands through strikes and other forms of direct action, with the eventual goal of gaining control over the means of production and the economy at large through social ownership. So the objective is to push unions, get people to publicly own the companies they work for so they have a hand in decision making, which if you look at what capitalism is and like how do we fight capitalism? Well, in terms of a classical socialist economy, one of the things that Hodgkin said was that we need to get rid of, hold on, I wrote a whole paper about this multiple times. Yes, Green Bay Packers is a great example of social ownership, socialism, like the Green Bay Packers. But syndicalism is the idea that unions are your ally, that equality is your foundation, that the idea that I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing is because we can do these things, and we should. And everyone should have a great opportunity. You want to talk about the American dream? What if we got rid of rent? What if we got rid of interest? What if we decided to completely delineate the for-profit mechanism in the United States? We have the means to do it. There's only 535 elected officials in the United States. It takes no time to completely build up a political party, use social media. I got 15,000 followers on TikTok and have had lives with 600 to 1,000 people in my room. 90 days in. How many people do you need seeing what you're saying? Yeah. Not a big fan of communism because in order for communism to succeed, it requires a violent overthrow of the government. And I think that Americans are too pussy for that. Dead ass. I think that Americans are soft. I think the military is about uh, survival, right? And so the U.S. military, apolitical, yeah, communism is a failed ideology. Anything that costs people is a bad idea. Do you understand how that works? Anything that it's going to require us to sacrifice people is a bad idea. What's a great idea? I made a point of it in my video. People are like they give you I believe it's Occam's razor, right? Okay, the train's going down the track. It can only go one of two ways. It goes one way, you have to sacrifice your house and your wife, but it goes the other way, it kills hundreds of thousands of people. What's your choice? And you're like, okay, so you can have my house, and my wife would have sacrificed herself. So, like, easy decision. And then they try to just repeat that over and over and over again until you don't have a house, right? They want to keep talking about the same dumb shit, okay? So, syndicalism is pro union. So, I'm about equality, I'm pro union. I want everybody to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. And then they're always going to want to talk about the economy and the role of the state. So I'm an I'm a hyper egalitarian, syndicalist, socialist. Okay, demanding. What am I demanding? What are my demands? Right. I want a state-controlled economy. Why? What in the fuck is a state-controlled economy? Okay. Well, for the record, it's more of the same as far as the states go, except when you have a state-controlled economy and you're heavy union, the unions can gain just as much power as political parties and affect policy and decision making just as much as political parties do. And so if you're heavy union and you're working with the unions, right, which means you should be garnering all their votes because you are the union's party, right? And then you want a state controlled economy because no matter what your thoughts are on a socialist economy, a state controlled economy can support the ideologue of a decentralized controlled economy or a centralized controlled economy, which are the other types of economies. And it would be senseless in 2025 to be platforming, decentralizing your economy when it's like, but the one we're in is destabilized to the point where it could fracture and collapse. So, like, that's not the play. You have to be fronting a state controlled economy. You want much of the same. Like, everybody wants their life to not change that much, right? We don't want to change that much, Jared. Perfect. A state controlled economy will afford that, except those unions that you support will gain power too. Okay. And then what are the desires of the state? What do you want out of the state? It's called Deerism. The Deerism, okay, is an economic doctrine in which the state plays a strong directive, uh, and they have a positive role in terms of intervention. So one of the things that people want that isn't happening right now is the state to interact in terms of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. You want a more perfect union? Well, don't you want the state to be charging Elon Musk and Donald Trump for what they've done, which supersedes SCOTUS and the federal courts because state charges they can't do anything about? That's Deerism. Your desire, let's say that you felt threatened on your property. You want to call the police and have them come and intervene on your behalf. That's fucking Deerism. So, like, what you want is for the state to intervene positively for its people. That's that's what your desire out of a socialist society is. Because as you can see, the state won't care what you want. Cool story. You clearly didn't hear everything I said prior to that. We currently don't have the health in DC to allow more centralized control. I'm looking at the Democrats and the Republicans as abject failures. And so one of the ways that you can succeed is say the rule of law is like super important, and that's what Democrats are for. As far as deregulation, that's what Republicans are for, and then the socialists are the Workers' Party. Okay, we're not going to war with Canada. That's not a lawful order. They're our ally. So you want NATO to be effective. You want that. You want to cooperate with the International Criminal Court to intervene when your federal government fails and the state cannot intervene. You want to support those things. You need to support those things. Now we're in a situation right now where NATO's not intervening. The ICC is not intervening. You want that. That's called Deerism. How do you get that? Socialism. That is a socialist ideal originated in France when they became a socialist country. And understand that, like, so a socialism as a construct has not existed and been given like the ability to thrive. It has they have just basically what I've realized in my research of socialism is that all these governments that are successful, they like stole a bunch of shit off socialism and just didn't call it that because people are fucking stupid. That's how we got here. Is that like a whole bunch of people hear socialism and they're like, ah, right? They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't like equality. So what you see right now, what fascists are doing is eliminating DEI programs. I think they should just call it DIE and reinstitute it and just rename it and do the same shit she was doing. Oh, by the way, equal opportunity employment, affirmative action, like I'm pro those things. That's what equality is, right? A lot of people are like, do I have to change as a person to become a socialist? I've heard from older Japanese friends that Japan has the most perfect form of socialism. I stayed in socialism when I stayed in socialism. I stayed in Japan in Tokyo for 13 days when I was in middle school. You know what socialism in Japan felt like? There weren't a bunch of McDonald's. There wasn't a bunch of fast food restaurants. There's a bunch of small businesses, small little sushi spots, little quiet little nooks and crannies, little small little coffee shops. Only got seating for a few people. It's perfect. Everybody's at work. There isn't a bunch of like there are McDonald's, there are Western foods, there are central parts of Tokyo you can go to where it feels very Americanized. But on the whole, when you stretch out your arms and you stretch out your legs and you go away from the central downtown Tokyo and you get into Okiba and like other parts of Japan, other islands in the country of Japan, like what socialism is there is like everybody feels like they're on equal footing. It didn't feel like they had lords or kings or really even like celebrities. That's one of the things you think about as you get older is you're like, can you name a celebrity that's not an English speaker? Most people can't. Most people can't name a non-English speaker that's can you name a famous Indian person? Can you name a famous Chinese person? Okay, well, can you think about a Japanese business that you know about other than Nippon Steel? Because most of them are small businesses. And that's it's those small businesses, those little nooks, those make a lot of money. And those people live, yeah, Sony, Honda. We're talking about people. Can you think of people that are famous, right? You don't know those who's the founder of Honda? What's their name? Do you know it? No, you don't, because that's not what the society in Japan is for. That's not what they're they the society of Japan has produced these things. Yes. Well, so one thing people have to understand is the climate change, and me talking about a new political party and form of government um, are contingent on us surviving. Easy to be Japan when everybody's Japanese origin. Hmm. You know, in terms of success, the more disciplined and regimented, the better. So one of the things that Americans fucking hate is organization. But one of the questions that I have for anyone that doesn't understand socialism and it's like I don't know if I get it is when I say like wouldn't it be great if we got rid of rent if when you went to buy a car or a house that the interest isn't what kept you from doing it. What if what if your education, what if you didn't know what a student loan was? How would that make you feel about pursuing higher education? What if every month the government just gave you like 500 bucks every Friday? Thanks for coming. Thanks for sticking around, right? Just to keep your belly full and your lights on. Pay a bill here and there for you while you figure your shit out. Right? And I think as a socialist that once you get to the point where you don't need that money anymore, you ought to keep it for about a year and then call in and say, "Hey, I don't need it anymore. I got my shit together." And then as soon as you need it, you get right back on it. See, that sounds a lot like unemployment. Mm. Here's the problem with unemployment. If you're not working a 40-hour work week on a W-2 or W-4, how do I know this? Because I worked for a year on 1099 work. I made more money. Okay. But when it came to unemployment in the United States, they don't recognize that. So I hadn't worked in over a year. I'm not eligible for unemployment. So what if you went to the government and said I need help and they couldn't tell you no? What if you went to the hospital and you needed health care and they couldn't turn you away? Their Hippocratic oath says that they're going to treat you. Cool story. I'm more than qualified. I'm I'm more qualified than anyone else. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm not only an Eagle Scout, I'm Order of the Arrow. I was in the Marine Corps Infantry during a time of war. I've outlined for you in multiple facets a life of service. And I also have a college degree, and I've been in college in 3 separate decades, and I'm working on a degree in data analytics from Purdue. Qualified to do what? Pontificate upon my thoughts of, as it refers to our possible future? And what is a path forward for us that isn't just more of the same? I'm sorry, qualified? Do you know who else is an Eagle Scout Marine and Purdue alum? Neil Armstrong. He walked on the moon. Like, what qualifications do I need to tell you that what we've been doing my entire life is not working? I don't think that you have to have a high level of education or qualification in order to look at a broken system and say it's fucking broken. The healthcare system's broken. A United Healthcare executive said in the last 2 weeks the healthcare industry is collapsing. He didn't say it's going to or could, he said it is. And I'm saying, hey, all those healthcare companies got to do is change all of their healthcare to be just like it is if you have Medicare and Medicaid. $0 a month, $0 copay, $0 out of pocket. Your medicine don't cost anything, and the state uses your tax money to keep you alive. That's what state-controlled economy does. Is it prioritizes health and welfare, and it keeps you alive, and puts money in your pocket, and it eliminates the cost of higher education. And it makes it so when you go to the doctor, you don't get turned away because you don't have the right card on you. And instead, you walk in the door, you get treated, you leave. Payment isn't the issue. And we take payment out of healthcare. Let your state negotiate on your behalf based on your taxes, whether or not you can and should repay, and have way higher income levels required in order for you to actually have to pay for your healthcare. Right? And like I would, for example, recommend you like codify things like Social Security, you codify SNAP, you codify um, all the social safety nets that we have. And so they can't be taken away. You can't elect a king and him just unmake all and just eliminate the poor people in the United States, which is what they're targeting. It's self-inflicted wounds because they use them to get in office and then sacrifice them at the altar of capitalism, right? Which is ultimately the issue now. Yeah, imagine just being able to go to school and learn and be a productive person in our society, and just be able to go to the doctor and not worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, do you know why Kamala Harris, late in that administration, she signed a bill that would eliminate medical bills from your credit report, right? Why did she do that? Why did Kamala Harris do that? I'll tell you, because a study came out and said that 60%, 6 out of 10, 2 out of every 3 divorces in the United States are because of medical bills. And think about that. What are you saying, Jared? Right now, 2 out of every 3 divorces is over bills because one of you got sick. So people aren't getting divorced because the relationship fell apart. Because they no longer had strong feelings for that person. 60 plus percent of the time, it's because one of you got sick and has medical bills, and you're going to die, and you don't want to leave your loved one with your medical debt. Now that you know that, are you a socialist yet? Do you think that social health care is the answer to that problem? Or do you think it's a bill that can be undone by a president? I think it's socialism. I think it's a small change to the tax code. Sorry, we're on a tool thing today. That's the thing about service is that it's a lifelong thing. Did you know it's actually called the citizen oath? Did you know that? So one of the things that being in the military, here's a link to Citizenship and Immigration Services. So by the way, Elon Musk, illegal immigrant, right? Also in violation of the citizen oath that you take to become a Here, I'll read it to you. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely, entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, states, or sovereignty of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. So understand, most white people, that's probably the first time you've ever fucking heard that. But if you're an immigrant and you had to like naturalize, that's the oath of allegiance that you take to this country. So why do you think so many foreign-born people serve in the U.S. military? Because they're fulfilling their citizen oath. So understand you are in violation of that oath when you're a traitor or you commit treason. You could be denaturalized for that. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, look, a Coheed and Cambria. Oh, I can already tell this is going to be a great little playlist here. So yeah, the big thing that we're talking about today is a protest a week from tomorrow. Okay. The White House or your state capitol, city hall, or town hall on President's Day, February 17th, 2025 at noon. Okay. I don't know that I have PTO to be able to do that. It would be my first day on my new team. I don't know that you don't want to not be there. Um, but again, there's this. Okay. If there was a protest today or next Saturday, I would go to it. Okay. Mhm. What up, Morty? So, for those of you that are learning some new words today, egalitarian, syndicalism, Deersism. That's a good one. Deersism. But yeah, so what kind of socialist am I? I am a pro equality, pro union, pro like social ownership of democracy, right? Social ownership of democracy. Every vote counts, every elected official counts. And again, like I said, from get-go, there's like 535 seats of government, less than 600. And so the goal is to either produce the best candidate or back the best candidate and make a timely decision on what you're going to do. Do you have a candidate you want in this race, or does the Democratic Party have the best candidate, right? And I always will roll my eyes at that. Like, do they always have the best candidate, the best one for the job? No. No. Nope. So you can't cave to the Democrats and just support whoever the Democrats run. No, you have to think about who can thread the needle here. Who has the chops to debate with these two goofballs that are just going to attack each other this whole time? So, my protest today is that I want to be an NFL head coach and I'm not watching the game, right? My protest is hosting a show every single day and saying, "Hey, do you want to participate in the resistance from your couch? Get rid of Facebook threads and IG. Get, well, commented on your shit yesterday. It was 11 minutes and 11 seconds. We're being heavily censored. Yeah. Short. Oh. I commented on your shit yesterday. I'm like, right on, Lens. She's like, no, I meant short. Oh, one of my favorite fucking songs. I think the comment I got from my friends was figures when I played this song the last time. So we're just gonna see if that diagnosis of mental illness sticks. Emptiness like a freeway. I confess I was lost in you. So yeah. See, cussing in your communication is like a language you learn. Like almost 20,000 likes. I don't even pay attention. One of the things I realize they see at certain levels, I have zero control. Like I can't do anything. You can't hear the music. I don't actually do that for you, Harry. I'm not going to force you to listen to music. I'm going to post the link. You can go do that yourself. It's because I actually care about you. I'm not going to try to make you listen to this like on my shitty speakers. Like that's lame. Here's the link though. You can go look for that yourself. Sorry. And that's because I care. That's cause, not because I don't care. And every now and then you'll hear me sing a tune, especially when I like the song. No gods and the angels are created. Yeah, yeah. If you've ever wondered if you could do it or not, like I wonder if I could run a business on my own, you can already do that. If you need help writing a business plan or figuring out what it is that you can do, listen, if you're one of those people, let's say you're like a fucking plumber and you 100% of the time are able to diagnose the problem, you have the skills, the tools, and the support to like fix that, and you could supply that. You could supply your parts, you already have the tools and all the knowledge. Hey, all you need to learn how to do is run QuickBooks and learn how to use Hootsuite to run your social media, where you could make one post that goes up on 7 different fucking social media websites and you could just go to work all day. Good to go. You could get an automated answering service for you that just fields phone calls, whether it's a complaint or somebody needs to do business, right? You could pay very little money a month and have somebody manage your inbound calls. You could pay very little for that. That's just that AI could do that. Press one for sales, right? I'm a firm believer you would be better off on your own. It's just people pick the wrong thing to be better off at, right? You want to win, you want to really win, it's HVAC and plumbing in the same company. Like HVAC, plumbing, mm, and like handyman service. I'm trying to think outside the box how I'd get somebody to do like outdoor add-on construction, not necessarily home building. But being able to send like 1 to 3 people to your house and be able to completely remodel your home after a storm or help you add on a room and then get the plumbing and power to that. Yeah. HVAC and plumbing. And then just like I'm thinking about putting up fences. Like you might want to learn how to run a postal digger. Yeah. Yep. Internet's definitely getting scrubbed for sure. Wander out in your house. I love to be oh my vaginal intrusion. Oh no, I thought Penn was dead and hit 18 blinkers. I have no idea what that means. GC, general contractor. Yeah, you could all do it. You could make more money. You can market better. I want funny commercials back. That's what I want. A big reason why I'm a socialist is I want everyone to own their own businesses and all the unhinged shit that the people that own businesses think that's their advertisement and it's gasoline. Like think about all the small businesses you've ever watched some unhinged commercial for and you're like, I would do business with him if I like was living in that fucking universe. I'm driving all the way there. I'm doing business with you based on your ads. God, that was my only subjection to Morgan Wallen. Oops. Be able to argue the more competent you are, the more I want you to strike out on your own. Because that's how it goes. And I want to point out what they did to the homeless community in New Orleans to make this Super Bowl for you. They uh they forcefully moved homeless people and put them in unheated warehouses and destroyed their abodes to make this Super Bowl look pretty for you. That's one of the reasons I'm not watching it. Oh, hey, I gotta tell everybody this because I forgot. Hey, if you have Verizon, you can update your iPhone. It doesn't have whatever the fuck Elon Musk was trying to put on it. It was just T-Mobile. So I know there's a bunch of people that were like me and were afraid to update their phones. It was a partnership with T-Mobile. Starlink, remember that shit? So if you have an iPhone and you don't have T-Mobile, you can update your phone. I did. I updated my phone. It don't have Starlink on it nowhere. So Roku. I would Google that. You have a link to disable Starlink. I did not. On 18.3? Or are you on a new iPhone? Like on a 16? Because I'm on a yeah, you wanna Google that before you do anything. But I don't. I don't have a link to disable. I'm not gonna do it while I'm on my show either. And there was a big ol' earthquake yesterday in the middle of the ocean, between uh, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands. You have a 16? Yeah. Remember, I want to make sure I keep saying this. The president does not have the purse strings, Congress does. Oh, oh, that must be so sad for you. Not only did your comment not get seen, but I blocked you. Where are we at on the tsunami advisory? So here's the thing about that. One foot is a gonna be a big tsunami. So that's one of the problems. I love this song too. Don't Fear the Reaper. I fucking love this song. Yeah, and where I'm at, we're on tsunami advisory. Okay. I like Blue Oyster Cult. Fear the Reaper. So understand lots of what's happening right now is bluster. Okay? In terms of it's now been canceled. Okay. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. Jesus. Yo, I can't with Florida. I cannot. You know how bad it is in Florida? I'm not even posting that shit on my show. That's how bad it is. So if you go to our news, I'm not even pointing you to the actual story. You're just going to see it if you scroll down a little bit. Okay. I'm going to post this. You can go there and then you'll see it. You'll see it. Florida. It's like fourth or fifth story down, enough to make you not want to. I'm not saying that shit on my show. I'm not doing that. But yeah, look at our news. Scroll down till you see Florida. Yeah, it's crazy. I thought I had lived in a world where I thought the police would protect school-age kids from ICE. But man, I somehow I've screwed that up. I thought a heavily unionized socialist aspect of society, police, I thought they would be all about people and saving and protecting and serving people. And boy, did I fuck that all up, huh? So instead of them being like the Gestapo, right? Instead of them being property protectors for rich people, let's repurpose police and make them public fucking servants. I would beat that teacher's ass. See, there's a reason I'm not going to be a teacher. AC, you just made me make a decision. I'm not going to become a teacher. I'd end up beating someone to death. Out of the TikTok shop. I made that up as a story. Nah, fam. Nah, fam. Yeah, do you see where the court said they limited Doge and Musk's access to sensitive data? And they're like, you got to delete whatever you got. What? Teachers don't care. Yeah, that happened when I coached high school football. I only stayed at a school for a year because the teachers were the problem. The staff was the problem. I'm a great coach. My head coach had like 20 years of experience. Right. Yep. Just got to tell them hang on, you know. I saw somebody the other day, they said life used to be about you're not living until you're thriving, and now thriving is just surviving. Just navigating through life now. Yeah, it's usually parents are the problem. I agree. But I think like the teachers are beat down and the parents are overworked and the kids are underserved. You know what I mean? I spent all my time with the kids and parents drove their kids to me. Not not to the school, to me. Put them in front of me. You need to be in front of that man. Oh, and I found out who the dude standing in front of the Department of what was that? Department of Education and blocked House Democrats from entering. Works for Triple Canopy. He's probably a veteran and he's a contractor. And so the current administration is using private police. So if you wondered what a martial law looks like you're in it. And also, if you think I don't think racism's getting worse, but I can't speak on that because I'm a white person, so I wouldn't even be able to conceptualize racism. So again, all yeah, the neck bearded bandit guy, yeah, he's a triple canopy, so that means he's probably a veteran. I said probably a veteran. I didn't say proudly a veteran. And definitely is a like contracted militiaman effectively. A mercenary is more accurate. Yeah. Donald Trump's got to do something that the military can act on though. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, there's a reason I'm not in charge because I would just run up on that dude with folding chair. What the fuck are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like this is WWE. You know, I'd have tackled his ass out of the way. Like what the fuck are we doing? What's he gonna do? Pull on me? Like what the fuck are we talking about? He's standing there with his arms crossed, that little skinny fuck. I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. I bench press his bitch ass with one arm. I'm not remotely concerned. But I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm afraid of no people. None. You have to be a lot bigger than me. A lot bigger. Like I have to be like, what the fuck? And I have to fight that? That's what I have to think. In order for me to not be like, hands. He's catching hands. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I literally worked for a decade. A decade at music venues, at concerts, at music festivals, outside, inside, little venue, big venue. I have fought in every phone booth in this country in terms of like protect yourself in a box and shit. Not worried, not worried. And there's a million people just like me that are like not worried. You understand what I'm saying? Like the fact that that didn't do just getting it run over is because like it was a bunch of women. No offense, little old ladies. They ain't gonna run up on dude and knock his ass out and shit. No. Why the fuck would I vote for Trump? Where the fuck did you get that at? Where did that come from, Richie? It's such a crazy question. Based on what? I guess you agree with January 6th. That's nope. Here, I'll make that easy for you. Where did you get that? I love January 6th. That's a slippery slope that slid you directly off of my live forever. There were police behind the doors. Yep. So that's the whole point of him standing out front as contractor, offering him. He has to proffer himself as a shield, right? That if you rush past me, it's charges. There's cops behind this door. We don't want to break the glass. We don't want you bum rushing this. Do I agree with that? No. Mm-mm. No, I would forcibly move that person out of the way, enter the fucking DOE through the all access entrance, right? And I don't care about customs and courtesies. We're past that. One half of the government is Russia and the other is Israel. And I disagree with both. See, like Hakeem Jeffries and Kamala Harris and the left and the Democrats, they were for the continued genocide in Gaza and the support of Israel, and I'm not about that shit. Yeah, you can't do that. It's not normal for a president to take away someone's security detail, but here's what's great about that is that there's purportedly a bunch of pro Donald Trump people that work in those agencies. So forcing people like Milley and Biden to get their own security, that actually allows them to vet their security. And then any action taken against Biden or Milley, for General Milley, for example, is going to be thwarted now because they will have vetted their own security that they had to hire. And I'm for that. I'm for that. I'm glad that Donald Trump took away uh their paid for security, government security. Yeah, exactly. I don't want great fucking song. Sorry. Well, I mean, he's also not doing half the shit he's saying you're doing. But I actually like 90%. Hey everybody, we're 70 people in here. I didn't even check. One of the things that happens when I hate to say when you get big, you get hit certain levels and you can't pay attention to the numbers. You could, but it'd be to your detriment. 21 and 60, 80, 90, 100 people, on a weekend. That's how we do it. Not everybody can go every day. Not everybody's going to be here every day. But yeah, one of the things that when I was doing my research on socialism and why it is the path forward, is because part of the classic socialist economy is the elimination of rent and interest because they are negative on exchange, meaning like you pay more for what something's actually worth. Okay. And so one of the classic sort of socialist principles would be obviously universal housing and stuff like that. But yeah, you want to eliminate all these subprime mortgages as a service. You want to cancel them, and people just one of the things in the United States, you don't ever own your land, you don't ever own your home. That's sort of a misnomer. As someone who will actually get to pay their mortgage off with their own hard-earned money in their lifetime, you get the deed to the property, and then you have to pay property taxes, tax on the land. So you own it, you just have to pay taxes for it now, which are nowhere near what your payment would have been. And we're talking like I pay, $1,500+ a month for my mortgage, but once it's paid off, a couple grand a year. And it's the same thought process. People are like, oh, socialism won't work because it costs too much. How about we just legalize cannabis and turn that into a cash crop in a country that is drying out and heating up? Hear me out. I'm trying to make sense of this dystopian fucking hellscape that we live in. If it the if the atmosphere is drying out, temperatures are rising, it's going to be sunny more and hotter. That's going to make it easier to grow my taxes and insurance the same as my mortgage payment. Yeah. My mortgage is 820. I pay 15 something. So yeah, how do you pay for socialism? Taxes on cannabis as a cash crop. Turn it into the United States doesn't produce anything, but now we produce the greatest strands of ganja the world's ever known, and you participate in like worldwide competitions in the United States because ultimately we are a dependent society, and one of the things about marijuana is it builds dependency. And one of the things that I've learned in my life is if you're going to grow it, you probably aren't smoking it because it requires too much attention to detail to produce like a good product. And it will absolutely build businesses. If think about right now buying up a bunch of farmland and just growing hemp. It's completely legal to do that. You can do that. Yep. And I'm not even talking about what you could do illegally, right? $2 billion. Imagine if it was all 50 states and it was encouraged, legalized, and supported. We got restricted for that. We got restricted for that. We're restart so we don't get banned. 3,000 viewers. Uh, 3,000 viewers on that live, by the way. Yeah, growing is gonna get longer. Yeah, and the thing about it is there aren't that many good crops that grow in those dry climates, but cannabis does. If we all grow our own food, yeah. I'm gonna figure out how to. One of the things that I've learned is that your growers have to be tall, and too often people break their back by doing the correct thing, which is growing out of growers, but they're small, like a foot or 2 foot. And it's like you just need larger containers. And I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna pay my own money to grow my garden and show people like it's not your soil. You can't say it's your soil. You have to understand that you have to put your stuff in a grower until it grows out of the grower, and then you can plant it. And then they don't like it. Talk about MJ. No, We had 3,000 unique viewers during that show. Raised beds, large totes. Yeah, but I just can't find big enough ones. I need 4 or 5 foot tall ones. 4 foot would be great. We have dispensaries on every street corner. Good. It's better for you than prescription drugs. But anyway, there's a protest. They're gonna run recurring protests every fifth of the month. Looks like at the minimum. But there's a protest on the 17th. It's a week from tomorrow, and there's also a blackout on the 28th. So for everybody out there's like, oh, we're not doing anything, dude. Too many people are trapped in the I go to work, I come home, I eat, I go to bed lifestyle to be able to protest. Okay, how would we get a restriction already? How did we get a restriction already? Make that make sense. I'm starting over. How do we get a restriction for that? How do we get a restriction for that? What did I say? What did I say? No, no, I didn't get kicked off. I got restricted like super fast. The second time. How did that even happen? Oh, talking about that word. Stupid. Hate it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the P word and the B word, right? Yeah. Remember, Bridget, I've been saying that this whole time. My mission is to convert my audience from TikTok to YouTube. Yeah. We have to learn to um, gathering at the TikTok shop. Apparently, I don't like. I'm sure my friends that are people of color can appreciate this. I'm not really big on code switching. I know that a lot of people have lived their lives and they've had to code switch to survive to get here. But I'm a white boy that has a potty mouth and I'm a master of my own domain. So I have always just said whatever the fuck I wanted and people just had to decide if this is what you want to do or not. If I'm the person you want to be communicating with or not. Now, I don't do that in business settings. Okay. You hear my dogs whining in the background. You hear my babies. Woo 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 woo. They miss me. Yeah, 33 people in here. Hey, that's great. And again, one of the things that I don't want to ever get caught up in myself is the numbers. You know, if one person hears what I'm saying and they're like, that not only do they think this speaker knows what they're talking about, they have good ideas. They're saying the correct things after having done research. You know, what I care about and what I want to make sure I project is that the current status quo is not going to work. We're all going to die. Muerte. Out of the TikTok shop. It's a story I made up, right? Like if we don't make big changes, it's over. And one of the ways you can do that is a completely new political party free of foreign interference. I expect the American Socialist Party to grow very fast to code switch because people will see like I have nothing. I have no money to speak of. So we're going to have to like raise it or spend it in order to legitimately become a political party. Remember, I have not. Have not. Most advocates don't leave to see the change they work for. Exactly. It's one of the reasons I said like I have no desire to be president because I don't think anybody that desires to be president should be president. Do you understand how my brain works? Like, yes, I would fucking accept a nomination for president. Yes, I would fucking run for president, but having the innate desire to be in charge is number one reason why you shouldn't be in charge. Because you want to be in charge of what? Who are you? Right? And instead, people built their whole lives out working at all three levels of government. Kamala Harris, right? Thanks, Kat. Those who seek power will abuse it. Right. So I'm not specifically seeking power. And I think if this were a play for power, it would be I would have to be saying I'm forming the American Socialist Party so I can run for office. I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not doing that. That's not that's not correct, right? Now, ultimately, yes, a real leader is someone who takes charge, not someone who wants to be in charge. No. If there was someone else that was a hyper egalitarian, syndicalist, socialist, advocating for a state controlled economy, whose primary like purpose is Deerism. If you could get someone else to say it and they want to be in fucking charge, that's the wrong guy. Sorry. What happened to my life? Okay. Uh we kept getting restrictions. So whenever I see up that I get restrictions up here, I just back out, restart, so I don't get banned. It's a way. It's one of the ways you can avoid bans that take me away from you. I'd rather just restart and come right back, right? hmm But know that our first show for a little over an hour, we had 3,000 unique viewers, which is insane if you think about it. And I'm sitting here talking about socialism. Right. Because a lot of people would get caught up in the idea like, why aren't you using your thoughts to push your own self in a and it's like that will not work. That is not going to work. You're gonna have to convince career politicians that never made enough money to stock invest and insider trade. So you don't want the people that are enriching themselves in office. You don't want them as a member of your party. But there are tons of federal employees, union members, government officials that have not used their position in politics to get rich that want to go somewhere else, that want a party to get behind, that will win. And I'm a numbers guy. I care about winning. I care about what the numbers say, and socialist policies win elections. Just so you know, yeah, get out of Florida. That's for sure. R50501. Mm-hmm. Starts here. One of the ways that you improve the odds of socialism being able to take root is you see what's in front of you, right? And you say, okay, right now in the United States, um, we have about 2 months before there are three special elections. Two of them are in Florida. Okay, maybe we can help you get this going. I don't know. I'm stuck between should I get people to do the work for me or is it my job to do all the work? I wrestle with that. Like, shouldn't I get the bank account? Shouldn't I get the tax ID? Shouldn't I write the articles? Shouldn't I be writing the platform? Should it, you know what I mean? So, if money were no object and time were but a construct, I could do something. You know what I mean? Um, but we're gonna need it all. And you think of a modern political party and how do you grow? I think like you have to think modern. And I'm a merch person. I run the merch table, right? Like I'm the guy like get you in a t-shirt, get that pretty ass dude or that pretty ass chick in a t-shirt, right? That says ASP on it, that says American Socialist Party. Get somebody in front of a microphone at one of these events that knows what the fuck they're talking about, right? That says like, hey, we're part of R50501. We coordinated and met. This is grassroots. We don't need the support of any organization in order to protest. Okay. We're watching some Canadian broadcasts talking about preparing for takeover. It's easy to fearmonger. Well, one of the here, Cat. Here's where. So understand, I'm a data analyst, and so ultimately, what building a political party is about gathering and using data. And where can I most safely gather and use data is the primary question that I have. Where can I store the names of the members of my party? Store the money my party earns to safekeep it, right? I think it starts with like we have to get a logo. I have to find a graphic designer that can spit out all ASP stuff and let me just send that to you and let you make your own t-shirts, put that logo on a hat, put that on a, and we figure out what kind of merch do we want to sell. Why am I? Because it's like a two for one. See, if you just have people paying you money to join your party, they don't get anything. You don't get a movement out of that, right? It's a transaction. I'm not a transactional person. I'm a relational person. I want every person that gives money to the American Socialist Party gets something for it. A magnet, a sticker, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a beanie, something where like you can put it on and be proud of that. And I as the person that founded the party, I get that not only did we had a transaction, now we have a relationship. They're the guy wearing the beanie now, right? Um I think about stuff like that as a method of movement. Um I want one of the things I want to do with my job is make a fuckload of money so that I can like go to Colts and Pacers games and sit front row wearing ASP shit, wearing my ASP hat, asp.gov or whatever, like whatever ends up becoming the site, right? Where people can go learn and then as a result of being sitting front row at Colts games, front row at Pacers games on money I made myself legally, right? At my job, not using the money from the party. I don't care about money. I care about symbolism. What does it look like for the head of a socialist party to be successful in a capitalist system, put himself front and center at major events in his hometown as a means of marketing? You have to do that. You absolutely have to be a master marketer. Yeah. Like you could put like the QR code on a like a patch on the back of your hat. So people are like, "Oh, that's a dope hat." You're like, "Here's the QR code," and it's like on the inside of the beanie or on the inside of the hat. You can just click this QR code. Here, it takes you right to the shop. That's the key. The key is having like an easy way for people to get involved. So what's an easy way for people to get involved? Merch. They have something connecting them to you, a physical thing connecting them to you. That isn't like trying to be unique. That's one of the things that I fucking hate is like companies strike out or like an organization strikes out and they try to do something fucking dumb. Let's give away merch. Oh, so now you're taking the transaction out of it and you're expecting to float an idea like a political party without there being donations to the party? Wow, what planet are you from? That would never work. That would never work. The party needs to be taking in money. That's how you gain legitimacy, is have money in a capitalist society that you're trying to upend. What if I could make max my own max contributions first to my own political party and say here's the money first. Yeah, put your QR code. Yeah, we just need a shop. I need an ethical US retailer that can keep up with demands and has ideas. Like I want Nike. For the record, that's what I really want. You want to talk about like how do you want to move forward? I want to work with all the companies that aren't eliminating their DEI programs. You know, I want to work with all the companies that aren't eliminating their DEI programs to say like this is who we're working with, right? I mean, you want to talk about actual power, what power is. Power is your ability to keep yourself in the public eye and you're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good. Wasn't there an egalitarian group in the movie Divergent? Well, keep in mind, egalitarian just means equality. That's like egalitarian is like a I should have joined the 501st. I was always worried that Star Wars wouldn't end up being like the greatest IP as a Star Wars kid. Yeah. I think you can go to with the foundations of the American Socialist Party and say we want our merch to all be Nike, distributed through Nike. Here's this 501, 501c3, the American Socialist Party, giving America a path forward. We want to work with Nike. Why? Because they can handle distro that we expect to be world popular. Everyone would want to support that. One of the things that I've learned researching socialism is once they get into political power, they're heavy proponents of the state, and what that means is state agencies, police, feds, and you want them to be empowered to hold people accountable, and you don't want to limit their scope and fire their leadership and force them to be what are they doing, the Doge team's doing like 15-minute purity tests to figure out if you can stay employed at the Fed. And I think instead the Socialist Party in the United States wants to have a powerful federal government and a powerful federal employees that are heavily unionized and are working for the people, right? Like where's Executive Order 13848? Where's the framework? Where's the incoming fucking punishment? People keep asking me why does Donald Trump keep attacking the FBI and CIA, and that's your answer. He's trying to keep the consequences at bay. The only thing about Mark Cuban, Cat, is you're not gonna like it, but there's some essay shit circulating about Mark Cuban that makes me uncomfortable. That makes me want to not fuck with him. As someone that has no essay shit. Ain't nobody that's ever been around me saying Jared tried to fuck me and I wasn't about it and he harassed me for it or he allowed it to happen. I'm fist fighting the dude in the parking lot. Do you understand? I'm the difference maker. I'm the change agent. The problem with Mark Cuban is if you just do a little research, you're gonna go, oh fuck, essay all over his past. I don't want nothing to do with that. Sorry. And the problem with billionaires is you have to take them how they come. You don't get to decide. Hey, you know what? You could just be a really big fan of me. That's why I've decided. Hey, I don't got no kids. I ain't no fucking pedo, right? I fucking hate criminals. I hate treasonous traitors, right? Yeah. I've been essayed. I don't think I've ever told you guys that. I got essayed by a woman. came to my house when I was severely intoxicated and took full advantage of me and left before I woke up. Happened when I first came home for the Marine Corps. So I can empathize. And I know I don't look like the type to get essayed. I know I ain't pretty, but you could just be a fan of me. You could just understand, like, I'm not seeking power and I give a fuck about that, but I can show you the path forward. I could guide you to water. I can't make you drink, but I could tell you how do you build a political party. I could tell you who do you want to put your faith behind. Who do you like? I'm gonna get out of the way. I've had elected officials reach out to me, the people that are already in office, that are ready to leave their political party and are like found the American Socialist Party and I'll join it. I'm already an elected official. I'm already a lawyer, tons of experience. I'll pick up whatever you're dropping and run with it. So again, I already know that this isn't about me. I got told that when I was 15. Remember that story that I was telling the last time I got kicked off TikTok? It was about how when I was 15 years old, I decided I was going to be my own end of the story, and that's not how that worked out. And not long after I decided I was going to end my own story, did I find out from my mentor that it's not about you? Baffled with Cuban refugees who despise socialism yet demand food stamps, rent, and free healthcare. But I would never point to a specific group of people and, you know what I mean, point them out. Your point. What's the message? What do you mean? About what, Patricia? Kind of a wild question to ask after we've been alive for an hour and a half. Likewise. So know that it's only my point today. Wow, Patricia. Um, so today we were talking about what kind of socialist I am and what my research into socialism has yielded. And what it yielded is that, first of all, if you're going to call yourself a socialist, at the very core, you have to understand that the core principle and the very definition of socialism is egalitarianism. And I know you don't know what that means. That's why you're asking me what the point is. Egalitarianism is equalityism. There, I even made up a word. Equalityism. That, in case you wondered what egalitarianism is, okay? Equality in all things. Okay. So I am a hyper egalitarian, meaning at my core, I care most about people who don't look like me. And then I am a syndicalist. And a syndicalist just means I am heavily pro union. So pro equality, pro union, socialist, advocating for a state controlled economy. And hoping to empower the state as a deism, which is the ability of the state to heavily interact. We have state controlled economy. Well, we don't. So Patricia, we don't actually have state controlled economy because currently the economy does not allow for unions to have say in laws that are passed. You understand? They're not sitting at the table helping them make decisions. They're paying money to lobbyists to push legislation. In a state controlled economy, the heads of unions are at these meetings. No, China has government controlled economy, not state controlled. Opioid processing fire, yes. They've been massive protests. Dallas, LA, massive protests. And they're not showing it on TV. Yeah, that's not how that works. I'm talking to like states, the 50 plus states, right? It is Deerism is when you want those states to be powerful. Yep. But yeah, universal income, education, housing, healthcare. Yeah, that's all. Hmm. Yeah. And the thing about it is, you can't act like none of this exists. It already exists in many facets of society. It's just they don't give it to everybody. And that's the thing that I believe. I think everybody needs an extra couple $1,000s a month from the government until you don't. Yes. Where they got run out. Yeah. Protesting with your taxes. Hmm. Hmm. So anyway, how long we been live? A couple hours? Hour 42. Let's do this. What are the flags in the background? Well, they're American flags. Those are wood burnt pieces of art. One is the Indianapolis Colts, one is Purdue, my alma mater, and then the Pacers. Now, two of these are actually not here, in that I gave them to a couple of guys that played football for me that are currently at HBCUs. They just didn't come home during Christmas break and get the Colts one and the Pacers one. Yeah, I would be scared too. There's a reason I've told everybody, hey, the most important thing you do is control what's are the stars on the other side. It's an American flag with what? It's in a what? Am I being baited right now? Yeah, getting rid of things like meta tools. I was gonna say, Brasher, I was getting dumber. Yeah. You know that what is the statement? I am what's the I think it's probably his most well-known line from his movie. The May God have mercy on your soul. What you've said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Um, that's what I think when you hear me say shit like, holy fuck, you're breaking my brain. That's what I'm thinking. As my mods escort you out. Yeah. I need logos. I need the full treatment. Okay. No, that's what I was thinking, Brasher, when that lady was in my chat and her questions were just so irredeemably dumb that I was like, look, I'm getting stupider trying to break this down for you fucking Barney style. And then y'all blocked her. And I was like, ha 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 ha. It's like, and I didn't have to say the whole fucking thing. At no point in your rambling, incoherent rant were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. I'm like fucking dumber for having fucking sat here. You blocked her ass. It was great. But yeah, I need the full treatment. So we need to find us a socialist graphic designer that wants to tackle. Yes, that was a Billy Madison line. Yes, Jilly. That's what I was just explaining. When you hear my brain starting to like crumple, and I'm talking to somebody in the comments, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening here? Like using the YouTube stream as the fourth wall. We're like, what the fuck is going on TikTok? And then I use YouTube as the fourth wall. In my brain is that quote from Billy Madison is like starting to play. At no point in your incoherent rambling was it there a rational thought. We are dumber for having sex. And then blocked. I did that with my brain. That was great. But yeah, we need to find us a graphic designer that'll just do the work. I work a full time job, host a daily live podcast, and I'm in the process of starting a political party. I literally don't have time. Literally don't have time. Now, I gotta think. Yeah, I gotta think. Website and all that shit. I'm trying to nail that shit down. I have a friend of mine that's like a rich person, and you don't be my age and rich without knowing a lot of shit. So I'm gonna get with them and figure out where should we be putting information. Like who should we use for a web host? What website should we use? What websites should we buy? Right? So that we have, one of the things you don't want to get is you don't want to get your movement co-opted, right? So if you're gonna get like asp.gov, you got to get asp.com, you got to get asp. Fucking whatever, right? But yeah, listen to you some Smith. Okay, get out of here. But if nothing, you should have learned some new words today. And I don't mean that disrespectful. I learned new words today. Okay, I learned what kind of socialist I am. Hyper egalitarian, syndicalist, socialist, advocating for a state-controlled economy with a powerful dirigism, which is the ability for the state to intervene. So everybody's talking about intervening. They're like, where's the state charges against Elon Musk and Donald Trump, right? That you are advocating for a dirigism. You want a powerful state. You just are stupid, and like you like your like brain is broken. Like what would work here? What gets us out of the problem we're in? Each state being powerful and holding our federal government accountable. And like I said, you got Gabe Alamont and Joshua Wheel that need to win their special elections in Florida, and there's one other, and I don't even know the fucking name. I couldn't even tell you. This is why Democrats should not be in charge of anything. I don't know who their candidates are. Less than 2 months out, I don't know who their candidates are. And everybody's like, oh, it only matters if you live in those precincts, not when you have a massive platform. And that's the other thing with elected officials in the United States. They do absolutely nothing. The justice system moves too slow. There's no equality in that we're not all held equally to the law. And one of the problems that people have with socialist parties is that if you just allow capitalism to continue, that is a state of violence. And if you're expecting to make great change in the world and capitalism just continues unfettered, socialism will fail. It'll end up violent. It will fail. So what Hodgkin said was we have to get rid of rent, which I'm pro universal housing, and interest. And that's how you uh, equalize everything for everyone. You get rid of rent, get rid of mortgages, get rid of those industries. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say shit. I always forget to do it. This is how you know I'm not really here for like me. I'm not really here to make money. I always forget to be like, hey, uh, you could tip me on. And for the record, it's not like my wife asks either. She's like, "Oh, how much money did you make?" That's never the thought. In fact, I think that's a good reason not to do something if the only reason you're doing. My mom said that I was an alien when I was a little kid. I got a 1510 on the SAT when I was 15. So I always tell people we are the aliens because I'm an alien. I'm likely alien. Baby. There's my PayPal. And that is a great deal of irony, right? Maybe I am. I certainly feel like an alien. Ooh, ooh. Great song to actually end the show on. So here's the song that came on right before we ended the show. Such a jam. Cranberries. Zombies. It's actually Zombie is the name of the song. See, now I gotta find someone. I gotta come up with the logos, all of it. I need the full treatment. If you know a graphic designer, I need the full treatment. I need I need simple logo, letter logo, big print logo, small print logo. I need the full treatment. I could do it myself, but you gotta understand, I work a full-time job, produce a daily live podcast. I have a lot on my plate. I am a graphic designer by nature with project management in the fucking title of my degree. So I can give you the direction if that's what you're looking for. But I need the full treatment. And I don't want to do yeah, somebody did a really good job up there, didn't they? And their bombs in their gums, in their guns, in your head, they are crying. In your head. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. Zombie, 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 eh, eh, in your head, in your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Mm, 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 mm. Brasher, I disagree. I think that we hear and see and think more than we should have ever. It sounds like I'm advocating for like, but I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's okay to not. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but like I'm a firm believer that we see and we hear and we feel more than we were ever meant to see and hear and feel by volumes. By volumes. Like you've heard and felt and seen volumes, leagues more than you were meant to. You weren't meant to, you're overexposed. We are overexposed. You don't pay attention to what's in her face. Hey, ain't that the fucking truth, right? Imagine paying attention this whole fucking time, right? Your hand in your hand, zombie, zombie, zombie. Bad wolves? No. Hand in your hand, zombie. Like I'll always tell people, I was happy being a nobody. I never had a following. I never even thought of that as relevant to me. Power is not what I desire. It's not what I think the world needs, is someone else seeking power. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't recognize what is truly powerful. That doesn't mean that you can't recognize what's truly powerful and move on that. And I'm a firm believer that everybody wants to cheer for a winning team, making winning decisions and not backsliding and backstepping and being chicken shit. I fucking wish. I hope he don't show up. I hope the smoke goes off and nobody's standing there and he's out in a parking lot instead. I don't want to watch it. I've watched every Super Bowl I've been alive. I don't want I'm afraid what the actual fuck? So them taking end racism out of the end zones was woke. Y'all are fucking unhinged. I gotta get out of here. Love y'all. That was funny at the end anyway. Oh shit, Squint. I'm out of protesting for the next 2 weeks. Tore my calf muscle? How? We running from someone? Anyway, I don't want to know. Don't. Anyway, watch this. Where woman was reincarnated over and over, and one of her lives was. I'm believing reincarnation. There's stronger evidence for reincarnation than there is for aliens. If you want to be technical, there's about 4 times as much evidence for reincarnation. So what most people would say is about a 1% chance aliens are real, but that means that there's like 4+% chance that reincarnation is real. If you want to think about something, you're like, huh, that's weird. Yeah. So technically, I'm much easier to convince reincarnation's real than aliens are real by about